Murder case. Law enforcement agencies are pretty efficient these days at solving crimes, but how about those hundreds of forgotten cases that sometimes torment the families of victims? WDEF News 12's Bill Mitchell tells us that DA Neal Pinkston says his cold case unit has solved a mystery from 1972.
There are hundreds of unsolved cases here in the Tennessee Valley, some dating back generations. Hamilton County District Attorney General Neal Pinkston formed a cold case unit after he was elected last year. Longtime Chattanoogans may remember Leon Hicks, who was co-owner of Hicks Brothers Restaurant on East 23rd Street, but he was shot to death at his nearby trailer one night in 1972. After 43 years and some legwork, a suspect, Harry Brooks Daniels of Atlanta.
Witness interviews, circumstantial evidence like the defendant had a gunshot wound to the left side of his stomach. He had bragged about killing a tavern owner, but he said during the scuffle he shot himself. There was also, at this particular crime scene, there was a fedora hat. At his apartment in Atlanta, there were 5 other fedora hats.
These faded photos turned up in a moldy old satchel in the evidence room, and they showed Daniels, a thief who spent a lot of time in Chattanooga. He's believed to have died in prison for another crime.
If the defendant were alive, then we would be prosecuting him for the murder of Mr. Hicks.
Retired Police Captain Mike Matheson heads up the cold case unit.
That's the whole point of having a dedicated unit out of this office that can devote the resources, whereas the police department or the sheriff's department or some of these other local agencies don't have the resources.
Matheson Pinkston say they'll continue to work the cold cases as new evidence turns up.
It goes to prove that these things can be resolved.
In Chattanooga, Bill Mitchell, WDEF News 12.
Now, Attorney Jerry Summers worked with the DA's office in turning up the new evidence. Pinkston says media coverage of the Hicks case has already brought calls from his family, including his 91-year-old father.
What began as a routine drive to school tragically ended with one teenager dead.